First thing you want to do is get your pie shell ready. I have a pastry pie crust. I have a video that shows how I make this. I'll put the link in the description box. Put this in a glass pan. After I rolled it out, I pricked the bottom with a fork so it doesn't puff up. Put this in the oven at 350 for 9 to 10 minutes. And then set it off to the side to let it cool. Next thing I did is I took 3 ounces of unsweetened chocolate, which is actually 3 squares. I put it in the microwave for about 30 seconds, stirred it, put it in for another 30 seconds, stirred it again, and here it is after its third 30 seconds. You want to make sure that you stir this after every 30 seconds because you don't want to burn your chocolate. What we're going to do is put this off to the side and let this cool. Next thing you want to do is get your sugar and egg mixture ready. In a saucepan, I'm going to put in 1 cup of regular white sugar. And I'm going to add in 3 eggs, like so. Then get a whisk and mix this around and cook this over medium heat until it reaches 160 degrees. And I have a thermometer I'm going to put in this when I get this mixed up and it starts getting warm. Basically what you're doing is you're cooking your eggs. Most French silk pies have raw eggs in them. This one does not. This one, and this is why I like this recipe, is it cooks your eggs for you. So there's no risk of any diseases or parasites or anything like that. So I'm going to bring this up to temperature and I will be back. One thing I forgot to tell you is that you want to constantly stir this. You don't want your eggs to scramble on the bottom and you don't want your sugar to burn. So keep stirring this until it gets to 160 degrees. Alright, I've brought this up to 160 degrees and I shut the burner off. Ideally you'd want to take this off the heat. But you can see how the consistency has changed. It's gotten really kind of frothy and light. Now what you want to do is add in your cooled melted chocolate. Help if I had 16 hands here again, but make it work. You want to get this in here. Just like so. And you want to stir this around. Just like so. And then you want to add in 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. But I'm going to take this off the burner. Alright, I went ahead and added my vanilla, took it off heat because it was starting to stick. And now what you want to do is let this cool until it is room temperature. Probably take an hour or 2. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, that does not look like French silk pie. And it doesn't, but we are not done yet. In the meantime, go ahead and take a stick of butter and set it out on the counter to soften. So when this is cooled, I will be back. Alright, now that our chocolate mixture has cooled, it's time to turn this mess into French silk pie. In this bowl, I went ahead and took a stick of butter and let it soften, and then I beat it. The recipe says beat it until it's light and fluffy. Last time I made this, I beat this stuff for probably 10 minutes and it didn't look any different than what this does, and I only did this for maybe about 2 minutes. But to this, we're going to add our chocolate mixture. Now this stuff has thickened up quite a bit, as you can see, and it's kind of giving me trouble getting out of the bowl, but we're going to manage. Good enough. Get that onto the beater. Now what you're going to do is beat this together for about, on high speed, for about 5 minutes or so, and it will take on a completely different texture, color, everything. But I'm going to go ahead and start mixing this, and I will show you the difference between now and 5 minutes from now. gone ahead and beaten this for 5 minutes on high speed. I scraped the bolts down a few times while I did it, but as you can see, maybe if my hand's not in the way, it kind of turns into this moussey kind of texture. See that? It's kind of light and, I don't want to say fluffy, but it's like a mousse. Alright, and now to this I'm going to add whipped cream. This is 1 cup of whipping cream that I went ahead and beat to kind of in between a soft peak and a stiff peak stage. Now you can use Cool Whip for this, but since you already have the chocolate and the eggs and the sugar and a whole stick of butter, use the real thing here. Just get that in. Now what you want to do is fold this together, just like what I'm doing. Just kind of cut through it, spin it around, turn it over, just like this. And you keep going until this is completely mixed in. Alright, got all the whipped cream folded in. Now what we're going to do is put this into our pie shell. All you got to do is scrape it out and dump it in. And go ahead and smooth the top out, just like so. Go ahead and lick the spatula. It's okay. Now what you want to do is put this in the refrigerator for preferably overnight. You can get away with about 8 hours. This needs to set up fully. But there you have it, French soaked pie.